Hello, 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 hello. Oh my god. Oh. Everything
changes.
Oh god, there it does. Or at least I'm gonna try. Hi everyone. What up if I press the button? Hi everyone, it is Saturday. It is 11:42. And the tiredness is starting to kick in. It is not as bad as any of the other Gen Cons in the past, because I'm still getting way more sleep, but not nearly enough sleep. Oh god, I need to shave too. Alright, before we get into anything, let me say thank you to some pretty awesome people. Wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? My thingy's gone. There we go. It's Swing Out Lobby for a Blugger Mom. Thank you so much for the host. It is truly appreciated. Today we're going to be doing our review of today at Gen Con. What we experienced, what we did. Good, bads, and differences. And we're going to go... Oh, this is what happens when you cut all that caffeine out of your life for the last 3 days. Like it hurts. Like your body gets so used to having X level of caffeine, and then you just like hardcore remove all of it. Your body just fully rejects you. It's like, what are you doing to me? Why? And so because of that, I'm just like, all right. So before we get into anything, some quicker notes. So tomorrow is day 4, our final day of Gen Con. Will also be our final day of updates. Monday, we return back to our regular scheduled program. That'll be our last week of vacation. So it'll be the last week of just full long days every single day. And then on Tuesday, we will hit our Tuesday of, not this week, but next week. We come off vacation for 1 week, and then go back on vacation for a week. So we shall see. Yeah, there we go. Let's start with this one this time. Oh God, this song. NCS Electric Joyride. How do I love thee? Are you mad? Sorry. My League Highlights video. This song reminds me of that. So today, what happened today? So today we played Starfinder in the morning, of which I got to play Sergeant Tovo. And in the afternoon, I got to play Siegfried and Pathfinder version 2 during the special. So we'll start with the first one, which is Sergeant Tovo. If you weren't here yesterday, the TLDR of him for Starfinder is he's a Skittermander. And Skittermanders are cute, adorable creatures that love and want to be helpful and kind and caring. And when their planet was getting invaded, they were like, oh, how can we make these people our friends? And so they just went, all right, we'll just not fight them and stand over here and let them take the planet. And the Vesk, who were the ones that were invading, were like, what? You're not going to fight us? And they were like, no, we're going to throw you a parade and celebrate you. You won. That's the Skittermenders. And so basically Sergeant Tovo, being from a very dark history of watching friends and family all being murdered and dying during that time period, he decided he wanted to join the military, go forth, and learn how to defend his people and stop things like this from happening in the future. So the storyline really begins 2 years ago, or last year, I forget which one it is. There was the Scoured Star invasion, and it went... And one of the boons that you could get from that was that someone was rescued. And so I made the character that was rescued. And Sergeant Tovo of the Roughnecks, if you know where Roughnecks is from, is basically Rico's Roughnecks from Starship Troopers. I literally just took the concept of Rico and planted it into the Skittermander. And basically the only thing I added was, like, basically he's the only surviving member of the Roughnecks. Everyone else has been killed. And, you know, it's a sad moment, you know, like, that all these people are, like, dead. And so because of that, death has gripped into Sergeant Tovo. So, like, he has been surrounded by so much death that negative energy and everything is just, like, seeped into who he is. And so he's very matter of fact. He's very military, single target focused. So when we were sitting down at the big like this mission, we all went on this big banquet, you know, with beautiful deluxe meals and stuff like that. My character pulled out an R2E, which is basically the Starfinder equivalent of an MRE, and proceeded to just start eating it at a banquet. Because he was on mission and he needed something, a binding agent, so he wouldn't have to go to the bathroom. And so Sergeant Tovo, on this mission, was faced with a lot of his fallen comrades, and by comrades, people from his planet, and a lot of the facts and everything that was going on with it. And so he did a lot of things to make sure that he brought peace to his fallen brethren. He even came across a Vesk who was an undead Vesk, whose only desire, his desire, was to leave and go home. And so my character, being a military man, looked at this military vest and went, "I'll take you home." And literally I said I was carrying his ass wherever he wants to go. If he wants to go with me for the rest of the days, then I will build a backpack and I will carry his ass around. And so, like, it all ended. So I joked with my friends last night that I took profession roughneck, in quote, military, because then I could buy a kit, a profession kit. And I called it the, what was it called? The Roughneck Indoctrinator. And the whole purpose of it was if someone, I decided if like someone in the group showed great like wherewithal and battle strategies and would be a great member to join, I would offer them membership into the Roughnecks as I'm going to try and rebuild them. And if they say yes, I pull the kit out, pull a brand out and a blowtorch, and brand them. You know, as a member of the Roughneck, because once in, you're in. You know, you are a Roughneck. So, like, when I said this, the whole table erupted, like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, damn right. Pull out a blowtorch and a brand. And so the guy agreed to it. So I officially have my first member of the Roughnecks. I wrote his character's name down and race name down. And I will be slowly doing it as I play through Starfinder with Sergeant Tovo. Sergeant Tovo is going to continue to try and recruit members into the Roughnecks. I wanna create a forum post for the Roughnecks that I'm just gonna list names of our members that are in the Roughnecks. And I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be really cool. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but I just think it'd be a really cool thing to just see Sergeant Tovo leading this brigade and rebuilding his unit. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Who knows? I also played him with so like my main thing with him is like, because of everything he's gone through, I play him that he has PTSD hits, where when certain things happen, he will react to it. And so at one point during the mission, one of our members got severely beaten, almost fell, and my character wound up dashing forward and jumping in the square and going into full defense to defend this character because he didn't want to lose someone. He didn't. Nope. Everyone's going home. I don't care. And so we'll see. We'll see how he plays out. I really, 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 really did enjoy him. He was a lot of fun, and everyone seemed to enjoy him. He was definitely not my normal character I would play in Starfinder, but it was something I enjoyed. I really did. I really did enjoy it. The second one, which was the special, was the Pathfinder version 2 special. What the hell was that thing called? Did I print out the sheet already? Oh, I already printed it out. So that one was an interesting mission. There was a little part of the mission got a little screwed up, primarily because I think there's this issue where it's a give or take. So let's just say they have a scenario that's this thick, right? Right? They have a scenario that's that thick. And they go, all right, we don't want to release it too early, because if we release it too early, it's bound to get out there, and then people are going to see it, and people are going to cheat. Not that we want people to cheat, we want to limit it. So the time of which they release it to the GMs to the time of play, I think, is a really small window. And so because of that, I think that causes issues where the GMs might not have enough time to read through the entire packet. Because I'll tell you, me personally, when I'm running a scenario, and this is just a base scenario, I'm not even talking about running an interactive special with thousands of moving parts. I'm talking about just a scenario that's just this one table. I usually start a week ahead. I read through it once, just like a straight read through, so I understand all the parts going on. Then the rest of the week, I'll read through portions of it and start like bringing up different windows and stuff like that. So it makes it easier for when Combat A happens, I have this already pulled to the side in a Word doc. When Combat B happens, I have this pulled out and it's in a Word doc. If this event C happens, I have that pulled out into a Word doc. So that way I'm not, like scratching through the 40, 50 page document looking for it. And so I think that's one of the issues is like with the specials, they delay the release to them, which then lowers how long they have to prep, which then increases, because this is not the first time I've gone to an interactive special where things have run awry or run weird, and it was because like the GM just didn't have enough time to prep. What I wish would happen is that there is a way that the only way I could think of doing it is if I were Tanya, and I'm trying to come up with a solution to how do I stop these from getting stolen and putting out, is you just need to, the best way I can say it is when I used to be a CPR instructor, I had tests. My tests were accounted for. 100% accounted for, right? And so what you do is on the test, it would say on the test and on every single page, printed and watermarked the whole 9 yards, what test, what number, what this, what that, right? And so what you do is you just print this all over this damn document, right? I'm sure there's a way that you could make it that you could superimpose an image on top of it, that if you photocopy it, it'll, like how checks do it, where if like you photocopy a check, it'll say void on it, but if you look at the check, it looks normal. I'm sure there's probably a way to do it. Now, of course, there's going to be people that can probably photo edit it and remove it. But if we're talking about multiple pages, multiple stops, it's going to make it a lot harder. And so what you do is you print it out and you FedEx a copy of it to your GM ahead of time. And then all you have your GMs do is inside that FedEx envelope is a freaking return envelope that they put it in and ship it back. Then all you as Paizo have to do is take your hundreds of copies of this and account for it. And then you know who has lost or hasn't sent back copies. And then you can deal with those individuals if they haven't sent back your copies. And so that way, if like all of a sudden you go on the web and you're like, yeah, I want to know the interactive special, and you see a copy of it come up and you see the number, you know what GM did it. You know what GM's copy it is. And so then at that point you just go, all right, well, you are not permitted to GM a special anymore because your copy got out there. Much like what happens if my test that I have for CPR instruction get out there, the AHA will look at me and say, you're not permitted to do testing anymore because your test got out there. And I think that little bit, small increase in overhead, but would give more time to the GMs from the prep to spend time while actually adding the accountability you need, so that way you don't have to worry about it spreading out there, getting out to the people, and so on and so forth. I mean, that's me personally. That's what I would do, is just call it a day, you know, do the thing, and that's what I would do. I mean, heck, you can even have them, you know, like right on the outside of the FedEx. If their test is A216, just have them right on the FedEx thing, A216. And so that way, when the people get the big giant piles of FedEx stuff with the manuscript returned to them, they could pop it open, pull it out, go A216, A216, bam. Okay. Put it to the side. Now, the plus that happens with that is Gen Con is not the only con that Paizo does. They have PaizoCon, then there's Origins, and then there's Gen Con. So as long as they set this up ahead of time back in PaizoCon, which is the first one, where they first released the special, then guess what? They can reuse these scripts over and over and over again. And as scripts get damaged or ruined, they can then just reprint it and then go, this is this one. You know, because then at that point, again, it comes a little bit of bookkeeping. And it just becomes, all right, book A271, right? Because again, this is what I do for AHA. A2171, right? I then mark it as void, put a big like thing through it, right? And then we mark it off on our rolls as a destroyed copy. And so that way you can get rid of it, and then you know what you do. You print out a new copy, you know, C3647, you know, like your A's would be your first printing, your B's would be your second printings, your C's would be your third printings, you know, so that way you can keep it in check so you know how old these pages are. And I think that would be a great way. That would be a definite great way for GMs to get their hands on the module earlier, have the accountability you want, and like hopefully lower what I've seen multiple times. This is my sixth Gen Con in a row with specials, and every single special has had some form of snafu going on. I mean, for the love of God, the Pathfinder gang signs, as we lovingly refer to them, those that literally they have like spotters in the room. And so when you complete task A, you have to flip up the Pathfinder gang signs to a spotter, and then the spotter collects and then tells the main table to attribute for successes happening at different locations. Because what's being played at table A is going to be different than it's being played at table B, which is going to be different than it's being played at table C. Even though it's all the same event, we're all like tackling different things. You know, like, oh, there's some evil salamanders doing evil salamander things, and then there's Bethany, she needs help with medicine because there's a bunch of evil things happening there, and Jakura is lost and we need to find him, you know, before we go on this grand adventure, you know, stuff like that. Like, everyone goes on their own separate thing, but it's all technically the same mission, and you need a certain amount of successes to succeed in that area. And so I think by getting the papers in the hands of the GMs sooner, they can prep sooner, which would then stop things from like this happening. Because I'll tell you, what happened for us is at one point during the event, we literally stopped. Because it was just like, the GM's like, oh yeah, we did it. We did the two things that we need to do right now. I don't know what's taking everyone else so long. And like, I'm telling you, like, we did the first one in like 30 seconds, like the first mission in like 30 seconds, and then we did the second mission in like another 40 seconds, and like we're watching the bars, and there's just like no one is completing anything. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then finally, like after sitting there for like a good 25 minutes, you know, twiddling our thumbs and staring at each other, he then realized, because he read through the manual, there was a section he missed. And so now, instead of being ahead now, we're now behind. And so now we're playing catch up. And I think had the GM been able to get those in his hand earlier, prep earlier, that might not have happened. And again, this is not the first year it happens. It's happened every single special I've been part of. And I know it's because they're locking down those sheets because they don't want them out there. But it's a real simple thing. Just follow what they like. My big thing is just follow what the AHA does. Keep your papers, label them all. You know, like mail them out to your GMs with a return envelope and board, and then just tell the GMs you're responsible for your paper. You're responsible for it. And I mean, the biggest thing you could do, like the easiest. Oh my God, this would be the easiest. Ready? You don't even have to send out a giant thing, right? An encrypted flash drive with a specific code that is given to that GM. So like, oh, your code is your GM this, so your code is going to be orange banana splice 74 capital and squiggly line, right? It's the only way you can unlock this. And if you unlock it, bam, then you can actually read it. And you put the drive in read only, no write. Just read only. No copy, no nothing. You can put those in whatever mode you want. You just put it in read only. You can read the file. That's it. And again, you put all over the damn thing, you know, a code number for the GM. And so then that way, at the end of the day, the GM just ships this back to you. And then you're good to go. You know, like, I mean, at least that solves the problem. Now, worst case scenario, if the GM gets this and it's not working, you just have to come up with a way to confirm it, you know, that, like, ship it back to us, and when you ship it back to us, then we'll give you the file another way, you know, because then at least you're limiting how many people are getting it last minute versus, and I think that would be the best way right there. This is going to be a lot cheaper to ship than a giant stack of paper. This is a lot easier to secure. Just a little bit of IT magic, and you could lock those bitches down. So that might be my only thing I would do if I was trying to improve this in the future for both live Pathfinder specials and Starfinder specials and online, is just come up with a way to be able to get these damn forms to the GMs earlier to stop confusion. I would like to once again say that I'm eternally grateful for yet another 2 tables of people with good mic etiquette, not sitting there, you know, like slamming freaking Doritos in the back of their throats. So I was really glad. Good mic etiquette. We didn't have anyone just like pounding chips like it was going out of that style. I only had one person with a laptop mic today, but it wasn't too bad, thankfully. When I first heard the fan spooling, I'm like, oh God, here we go. But I was truly, truly thankful for, it not being as bad as I thought it was going to become. But again, it was another good, awesome, fun day. No complaints, no anything. No, nothing. I said my only thing would be this suggestion to try and figure out a way to get the sheets out for the special earlier to the GMs, just so it stops miscommunication, gives more time for the GMs. That would be my only note for the day. That's the only negative for today, is just an overall negative for the last several cons that I've been doing, whereas I just wish they would get the forms out earlier to the GM somehow. Don't worry, I'm more than willing to be hired as a consultant to help you come up with solutions. Feel free to contact me, Paizo. So now tomorrow is an interesting day, because tomorrow we are not playing Pathfinder or Starfinder. So for the last 3 days we've been playing Pathfinder, Starfinder, which I have a tendency I I have I have a tendency of just wanting to stick with Pathfinder, Starfinder, Shadowrun, because those organized play groups, I can guarantee their run's gonna go off, and that things are gonna run smoothly, or at least as smooth as possible. Once you start getting into external games, is when you start having issues. So, like for instance, we did a Star Wars game. Me and Tom did. That Star Wars game ran beautifully. Unfortunately, it went over time, and there was nothing you could do about it. It went over time, so we had to leave. But it was a great time. But then later on, we had this Hunger Games, Marvel versus DC thing that just, holy God, that GM shit the bed so hard. Like, hardcore shit the bed. And I'll be honest with you, ever since that one is why I'm so hesitant of just doing external things. So, but the thing is, I know Tom likes to spread his wings and do other things other than just Starfinder, Pathfinder, and Shadowrun. That's just how he is. And so every once in a while he wants to sow his wild oats and play something else. And so lo and behold, he found tomorrow we have 2 slots in a system called Battle Lords of the 23rd and a half century. It's a system that's been going on since, oh my God, 1990, I think, is when this first came out. It was 1990s. And I'm interested in it. Now, the part that's weird, the part that has me really concerned, is so there's basically on the Gen Con forums and everything, and on Paizo, one of the big things they said was, you as a person or an organization cannot require someone to stream. You can't, because it puts someone on the spot. So, like, for instance, I'm on camera all the time. Some people don't want to be on camera. And so this Battle Lords table, both tables are basically putting it as, this is going to be handled where the last ones have been handled on voice, has been handled on Discord, and the mapping has been handled on D20. They're doing their voice on Zoom. And they are basically requiring you to have a camera on. And again, me personally, I don't have an issue with it. It's just when Gen Con and all them put out an order of, you cannot force this, and then you say, well, we're going to do this because we find it makes it easier for this close-to-close feeling. My problem is, I'll tell you right now, here, let me tear down the 56th wall. Where's my camera? There we go. We're going to tear down the 56th wall. So this is what they're going to see. That's what they're going to see when they pop up into my thing. Is like, this ridiculousness behind me is what it's going to look like. Hold on, you can't even see the whole thing because I have me cut out. So it's like, technically it's this. You know, this is what they're going to see because that's what they want, right? And it's just like, do I really... I just... And I'm sure there's other people that are just don't want to be on cam, and it's just oh. And so the fact that they put it out is basically it's going to be a forced thing to make you feel inclined with other people. It's just whether you have the camera on or not is not going to make me bond with another player. It's not. Now, what if I wake up, because our first slot's at 8 o'clock, what if I wake up and I am fresh out of bed wearing nothing but a G-string? And yeah, sleep in a G-string. But nothing but a G-string, and I plop down on the computer with my big old man titties out, right? and I turn the camera on, and then all of a sudden someone sees my giant man titties. And again, I could be out in public with a t-shirt off, right? So I'm on cam with my giant man titties out and the whole 9 yards, and like, now I make other people uncomfortable, you know, because it's like, oh, he's got giant man titties out. I don't want to see giant man titties. Well, this is forced. I have to do this, and we're bonding. So now I feel like I have to wake up extra early tomorrow so I can go into the shower, wash down, shave, so I can look like a normal, civilized human being before this Zoom thing for a video game, for a role-playing game. And so, like, that's my first hesitant. And the second one is, as I said, whenever it's not one of the 3 big ones, which is Pathfinder, Starfinder, Shadowrun, my hesitance is there every single time. And I'm part of the Gen Con only happens once. I'm willing to risk a Sunday once a year just doing random shit, because you know I have 51 more Sundays in a year. I only have one Gen Con, and then I have to wait a whole nother year. And so that's why, like, there's that part of me that's hesitant. I hope it turns out well. I really do. What I will say is, if the first one runs like shit, I am gonna wind up telling Tom and Sir Ian that I'm withdrawing from the second one. I'm withdrawing from it, and I'm just gonna find a Pathfinder or Starfinder game, because I'm not gonna just trudge through a second one if I already did not have fun with the first one. So that's something I came up with a little while ago of what I'm gonna wind up doing and saying. I don't know how they're gonna react, but at the end of the day, I gotta do what I'm going to enjoy, and if they want to go have a grand old time with that, then they can go have a grand old time with that. I will go be a, you know, like in Starfinder or Pathfinder somewhere and doing other things. I'm sure I could find a table somewhere doing something. I mean, at worst case scenario, if I don't, well, guess what? I'll go to sleep and get some extra sleep in. But we'll see. I remain hopeful. I really do. But I am the optimistic pessimist, where I hope and pray for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. Like, I really am. So we'll see. But yeah, that's our Gen Con update for tonight. Siegfried, the Pathfinder 2 character went out today during the special. Forgot to mention that. And he could not hit anything with his sword. Now, what I will say is, at one point something was pissing me off, where my dice were betraying me. Like, when I didn't hit, I did lots of damage. Like, it auto rolls your damage with your other thing. And so, like, I would miss, but it would have lots of damage. Like, oh, yeah. And then, like, when I would roll and get a hit, I would get minimum damage. And so there was these 2 other fighters in the group, and they were doing stupid amounts of damage just because they kept rolling well. And it slowly became this teasing thing of, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have a greatsword. Maybe you should have a scythe. I'm just like, oh my god. Can we stop making this joke? If this is the 74th time we made this joke, I get it. My dice are betraying me. I get it. Let's move on. You know, I'm like, oh. My character was a better sorcerer today than he was a martial character. That is the saddest thing I could ever say, but it's so true. But yeah, that's the update with him. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll do, I'm going to do a final, like, rundown of all 4 days, experiences, pluses, minuses, and everything. So it'll be like a culmination of the last 3 days worth of talking about Gen Con and talking about the final day, and, you know, like, looking for the future. So other than that, guys, we're going to do the end of credits. We're going to get out of here. My voice is a little on the dry side. So I'm just going to roll the credits and say goodnight now, just so I can get some water and relax my voice. I've been doing a lot of speaking the last 3 days, so because of that, my voice is a little bit on the teared up side. So I hope you guys understand why I'm going to be doing what I'm doing. But if nothing else, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the follow, the subscribe, the bell, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. It is appreciated. And I think I have everything. I hope. We hope. Yep, that's everything. So here we go, guys. The ending credits. Let's thank some people and let's get out of Dodge. Outro, please. Down below is a thank you for everyone. And I hope to see you guys later. Good night, everyone. Button.